Hey, what's going on, Facebook? Didn't mean to hit the go live button, but since we're live, might as well go ahead and get it going. Welcome to True 100 with me, your boy AMA. As you can see, I said it wasn't ready, but hey, everything kind of works out. Uh, One second, see. Here we go. See my handy dandy podcast. Today's show is going to be about Black history. Um, of course, as we know, February is Black History Month, so definitely could not go the whole entire month without paying homage to Black History Month. And it's very important, especially to a person like me, it's not just to know your American history and Black history coincides. Black people have been here for hundreds of years along with white people, though we may not have came over in the best conditions and in none of the best situations. We are, regardless, a part of American history. Though sometimes we are forgotten throughout the entire aspect of the history that people teach in school, even if they teach us in school, we're kind of an undercover part, like Native Americans. We were mentioned in history, but we're not really talked about a lot in history. We kind of get, Black History Month, and that's it. So it's sad, but it's something that we also have to take advantage of because we have to make sure that the little time that we do get to celebrate the heroes and the people that came before us, we pay homage to them because without them, we would not be able to do what it is that we do today. I know that we sit here and we complain about the way that we are treated, but let's be honest, our ancestors went through a lot worse than we have, and a lot worse than what we are going through. So in these times and in these days, in these 28 days, it's good to stop and pay homage to them. The only thing with Black History Month that I technically don't really like and appreciate is that we only focus on certain black people. We only focus and give attention to certain black people. We only give it to Martin Luther King Jr. We'll give it to Malcolm X. We're now going to start giving it to Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. We'll give it to Muhammad Ali. We'll give it to certain people that were big, that were big, broad names that everybody kind of knows. We don't really give credit to certain people that honestly deserve it, like Sojourner Truth, Kunta Kinte, who everybody just knows from Roots as Toby. He got beat, but you really don't know that he was an African warrior, that he was a prince. He was somebody who led, who led against the capturing of his people. They took him fighting. He didn't just come over and just was like, "Hey, they got me." No, he fought. But a lot of people don't know that about Kunta Kinte. A lot of people don't know about Sojourner Truth, and a lot of people don't know about Huey Newton. The most that they know is, oh snap, man, he founded the Black Panthers. Okay, yeah. What else? People won't give credit to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. People won't give credit to Bill Russell. People won't give credit to Benjamin Banneker. People won't give these credits to these folk who honestly have kind of slipped through the crevices of appreciation in our history. They've done so much, yet we don't really know and we don't really appreciate them because we're just like, oh, well, Martin Luther King led with civil rights and Malcolm X did this, and Rosa Parks did this, and what a lot of folk don't even know is that Rosa Parks was not the first person to actually sit on the bus and refuse to give up her seat. Rosa Parks was not the first person to do that. But you would never know that because that's not something that's taught to us. That's not something that we go back and research. When you go back and research, there were two other people who had sat on the bus way before Rosa Parks even did it. The reason why Rosa Parks even got the credit for what she done is, yeah, she sat on the bus and she refused to give up her seat. True. That which was a big thing, and by all means, I do not want anybody to think that I'm taking away from Rosa Parks and what she did, because she was a perfect candidate. She was the perfect person to rally behind. But what, like I said earlier, there were two other people who had did it before she even did, and because of the people that they were and the places that they were in their lifetime and in their lifespan at that time, they wouldn't have made a great positive, role model for this. But Rosa Parks really was a strong person because guess what? She was part of the NAACP. She was in, well, I don't know. I got to research that one because I know she was part of different organizations as far as in the civil rights. But she was basically a great candidate. She was a great person to do it because she had a great history. She worked, like I said, she was in different civil rights organizations. So she was a perfect candidate to rally behind because of her background, where she was in life. So, but without you knowing that there were other people who did it before her, you would never know that she was never the only one. There were many who did it. But that's just parts and pieces that we really don't give credit to other people of color that have gone through struggles. Doing research, I wanted to really kind of even find out, how did we get to Black History Month? How did we even get here? Like, how did Black History Month even come up? And it was really because of one man. And I have it all here. I was able to get a lot of it done, and I really wanted to print it off, but apparently the printer at my job, it didn't seem to want to actually print for me. So I did the next best thing and I sent it to myself. And I want to make sure that like I said, I always want to make sure that when I give you guys information, I always do my best to try to make sure that it's the right information, that it's actually correct. I just don't want to sit here and spew a whole bunch of stuff that isn't real, because truth be told, that's actually dangerous. That really is dangerous. So the story of Black History Month begins in 1915, a half a century after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the United States. That September, the Harvard-trained historian Carter G. Woodson, Carter G. Woodson, I didn't know, actually helped with the NAACP. So that's something I never knew. I never knew who Carter G. Woodson was. I never even knew how we even got a Black History Month. And here it is. It's really because of one person. I mean, it's many other people, but Carter G. Woodson and a prominent minister, Jesse E. Moreland, founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, an organization dedicated to researching and promoting the acknowledgement of Black Americans and the other people of African descent, known today as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. The group sponsored a National Negro History Week in 1926, choosing the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. The event inspired schools and communities nationwide to organize local celebrations, establish history clubs, and host performances and lectures. So think about this. We actually started off with just a Black History Week. And the reason, and a lot of people want to ask, well, why is February the predominant month? Why did we pick February as the shortest month? Well, as you can see, as you just read, as I just told you, Black History Month came in February because Carter G. Woodson and the minister Jesse E. Moreland, they coincided it the first week. I mean, they coincided it with the weeks of Abraham Lincoln's birthday and Frederick Douglass' birthday, who were both born in February. Abraham Lincoln, as we all know, helped lead to the basically with the Emancipation Proclamation, led to the 13th Amendment, which led to the freedom and release of slaves. So they wanted to basically pay homage to these two men. Frederick Douglass, as everybody know, one of the great African Americans who were educated back then, which in a time he was not supposed to be, where he was taught to read and write, something that he was never supposed to do. You were never supposed to teach a slave how to read and write. You were never supposed to teach black people how to do that. Not just slaves, but black people in general. You were never supposed to teach them how to read and write. So he became very educated and helped, lead to and do a lot of different things. And so that's how Black History Month came in February, because it was Black History Week, which led to celebrations, and as you can see, it led to the month. But like I said, I did not know Carter G. Woodson led to the NAACP. And not just that, I really want people to understand this, what I'm about to say. We have to give credit to white people during this month. I know that sounds, I know everybody, oh my God, white people, really? They get taught all of the time, their history and this and that. Well, what a lot of people don't know is that NAACP, the thing that's known for black history, the thing that's known here, again, I want to read this because I want everybody, okay. This is about the NAACP. The NAACP was founded February 12, 1909. Now, here are the three founders of the NAACP. Moorfield Storley, Mary White Ovington, and W.E.B. Du Bois. Now, W.E.B. Du Bois, many of us know who he is. Great writer, poet, part of the Harlem Renaissance, all of that stuff. We kind of know who W.E.B. Du Bois is. And if you don't know who W.E.B. Du Bois is, I advise you to definitely go look him up. He was one of the most predominant, voices, writers during the time of early civil rights. Like when we were first kicking off civil rights. He was very big, along with Frederick Douglass and all of them. Now, for those who do not know who Moorfield Storley and Mary White Overton is, if you listen to those names, they're not black. And if they are, them pictures sure lied to me. But these were two white people that came together with W.E.B. Du Bois and founded the NAACP. Ta-da! We all coincide together. And when you look at other organizations, believe it or not, a lot of organizations wouldn't have happened without the help of white people. So it kind of frustrates me sometimes when we sit here and we try to be like, oh man, the white man ain't never did this and the white man ain't never done that. Yeah, you got some racists out here. There's a shocker. But without the help, think about it, without the help of our white brethren, we would have never gotten through with the Underground Railroad. A lot of the organizations that we have founded, they are founding members. A lot of white people marched with brothers and sisters for the struggle. So when you go back and we look at all of these videos, yeah, you got a lot of white police officers that were spraying us with hoses. You got a lot of white officers. You got a lot of white people that were marching against us. Yeah, you got the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, you got... Hey, I'm not going to sit here and knock this. Yes, we got a history with white folk. But there is a percentage that was back in the day that was marching and fighting to found, different organizations. And to make sure that, truth be told, we were able to get to where we are. So I definitely want to take the time to sit here and say, we could not have done this without many of our white brothers and sisters. So I don't want to necessarily hear I don't want to sit here and hear how, you know, well, you know, it's just all black people. Black people just did it by themselves and this, that, and that. I can't say that. Definitely want to give homage. That's what I'm saying. Black History Month is not just Black History Month is not just a time for us to just sit here and pay. We got to sit here and pay homage to the people that came before us. We have to. But it's not just paying. But it's not just taking the time to pay the little time to the few black people that we had. It's to actually take the time and pay homage to the folk who really helped. When you see pictures of white people that's getting beat up and dogs attacking them because they want to make sure that we get through, you got to pay homage to that. When you see black people that have literally been beaten that we don't know about, that the history books don't capture, because not everybody is famous. Not everybody is known like Dr. Martin Luther King. Not everybody was a big voice. Not everybody was, but many were. You don't know how many marches. This is the thing. Yeah, you have one top guy. But if he doesn't have anybody following him, we don't get nowhere. We don't get anywhere. And during Black History Month, you find out how much contribution that we as a people made, like I said, to America. We are ingrained. We are a part of American culture in ways that we don't even know that we are. We're sitting here with a lack of understanding what we really contributed. And I know for a fact, like I said, when you go sit in these history classes, we're like footnotes. We're there without really being there. Even when I was in high school, during Black History Month, we learned about the Harlem Renaissance. We learned about bits and pieces of slavery. You learned about how Martin Luther King, and you learn how Benjamin Banneker helped do this, and you learn a little bit, but you don't learn the full history because, sadly, it's almost like we are a part of our history when it comes to slavery and Native Americans and all this stuff. It's a piece of history that they try to hide. Why? Because honestly, it doesn't make America look good. It doesn't make America seem like what we are today. So we try to cover it up. We try to cover up the racism. We try to cover up the discrimination. We try to cover up that part of American history. Well, you can't. There's no way that you can. It happened. So what America has to start doing is, instead of just trying to make sure that we focus on the Revolutionary War, or we focus on the Civil War, or we just try to focus on how, the Great Depression affected all of America. We have, and stop sitting here saying, oh, well, for a couple hundred years, we had niggas in chains. We had black people in chains, and we called them niggas, and we called them Negroes, and we beat them, we raped them, we killed them, we made them, we did a lot, Yeah, so anyway, after that, though, we got all this great stuff. We have to quit doing that. America has to stop trying to hide this past. Like we do not know it does not exist. Everybody knows that this stuff exists. It's there. But we cannot just talk about it during Black History Month. It cannot be something that's just talked about and emphasized during Black History Month. America as a whole has to come out and sit here and say, you know what? Black History Month isn't long enough. We have to come out and say, we got to make this part of just every day. We got to make this a part of the curriculum, period. Because without these black people who contributed, who, fought through, who got through this in spite of, they still helped us. We always say, like George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver does not get the type of accolades that he deserves. He doesn't get the appreciation that he deserves. One of the best known black inventors, And he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. There are so many black people that do not get the credit that they deserve. And it's not, and this is, and I want to make sure that I say that it's not just on white people to make sure that they integrate it into our history and teaching our kids. We as black people need to start going back in research. We need to go back and really look to see how far we come. And even in spite of us going through all of that, we need to look and say, okay, God, this is our history. These are the inventors that we don't know anything about. Right now, I can probably go Google lost black inventors, and I bet 5. The stuff that would probably come up and would sit here and blow our mouth. Like, I remember one day in middle school, and this is how much of an impact that it was. Black History Month, they were trying to just make sure that they incorporate so much, and they took us into a room, and they showed us all of the things that black people have invented. And I'm not talking about just Madam C.J. Walker and, she invented hair care products, and she became, a multi-million. I'm not just talking about her. I'm not just even talking about George Washington Carver. I'm not just talking about Benjamin Banneker, who for the longest time nobody ever knew who made clocks and, helped with the schematics of Washington and all of that stuff. Nobody knows. Like, a lot of people never knew that, but when they took me back there, and they took the whole class back there, and they started showing us that it was a black person that invented the gas mask. Black person who invented denim jeans. Black person who invented the stoplight. You sit here and you go like this, like, really? Like, that was us? We did that? And I sat there just looking there like this. Even in middle school, I was just sitting there looking like, whoa. Like, we had our hand in this. We had our hand on this. And this is something that everybody uses and do every day. Right now, I bet 5. Nobody can probably sit here and tell me the African-American doctor who did the first open heart surgery. And here's what's even the saddest part about it. I couldn't tell you who it was. So I'm in the boat with them. I'm in the boat with majority of black people. Because there is so much to our history that we don't know. And we're honestly not even conscious enough to go back and research. We'll go research bits and pieces of it. And we only want to research it during February. Like black inventions and black contributing stops in February. Like, February 1st, let's go read about all of these black people. And then February 28th, yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm good. And what's sad is there are very few, like, I listen to Tom Jordan Morning Show, and he does the little known Black History fact every day. He's one of the very few. They try to make Black History Month 365 days a year. And by all means, I'm not saying that you do not have black people that do not do their best to incorporate. But I'm saying it's so, and it's stuff that I know people probably say, like, well, man, we don't really do this with American history either. But we do in certain aspects, because there's certain stuff that we just don't forget. And what's crazy is that we won't forget the parts of where America beat us, America raped us, America took from us. We won't forget those parts. We remember those parts. But we don't remember the parts of what we contributed. That without us, America couldn't have got this. We won't talk about that. Or we'll talk about it in such a way that it benefits we're victims. We're this. I don't have to sit here and tell you that black people are discriminated against. And it's not by everybody. Lord, please, let me make sure I make the distinction. Not everybody is a racist. Not everybody is discriminatory. Not everybody is scared of black people. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie. I have met some of the coolest white folk that love me to death. Shout out to Miss Karen Comstock, because for 4 years at Lawrence North High School, that woman was my mom. She took care of me the whole entire time, my 4 years that I was in school. White lady, I promise y'all, one of the toughest people who literally was probably the only woman who could actually talk to me outside of my mother, and I would listen and can keep me under control. So if anybody really knows me, it's not that I'm crazy and just like all over the place, but to keep me and my mouth in control and to actually love me and show me that she loved and cared about me that much, to say, hey, I'm going to tell you the truth and I'm going to make sure that you stay your tail out of trouble. She didn't have to do that. And I sit here and say, and I emphasize that she's white because this is what a lot of folk think. Oh, when white folk don't care, they'll do this and they'll do that. Nah, because she broke the mold. Same thing, there was a lady that everybody swore to God she was so mean, Miss Potter. Nah, she just didn't play no mess. When you came in, she was going to respect you. She wanted you to respect her. And she knew how to do that. That's what it was. She taught respect. So that's what I'm saying. And it was another teacher that I had. I'm sorry, I'm slipping. He was my government teacher, but I can't remember his name, so y'all forgive me. But he was a great teacher. They were people who actually cared. So when people sit here and say, "Oh man, white people," nah, it's not all of us, because you got some black racists too. We won't talk about that either, but they exist. Black racism exists. When you look at it, everybody had played a part. And it's on everybody to remember that. Not all white people are racist. Not all black people are not racist. We all play our parts. They love us. Some love us. Like I said, we got our histories. We got our problems. We have our differences. But everybody plays a part. We all have to come together and remember the history. We can't just forget it when this month is over. It's got to be something that we remember months, and for a lifetime. Because just to use our history to justify, well, we were getting discriminated against then, well, we still getting discriminated against now. Okay. Now what? When you look at the stuff that our forefathers, our ancestors, and everybody who came before us, they didn't just sit here and wallow in it. They knew that there was discrimination. They didn't wallow in it. They got up and did something about it. That's why I said earlier, I don't have to go into the numbers. We all know that what the numbers are. We know that a large black population makes up jail. We know that poverty inflicts on African Americans a lot more than it does on any other nationality or ethnicity or anything else, whatever you want to call it. We know this. We know this. We know the numbers. I don't have to say it. We know that we are unfairly targeted by police officers. We know. We know that we make as poster children for social, not social security, but for government assistance. There we go. Couldn't get it together for a second. We know we are the poster children for it. Food stamps, Section 8. We know. We know. We know. We're the poster kids for it. But what are we going to do now that we know? I hear so many of us talking about, well, man, they ain't sending money to the hood. They ain't doing this. They ain't trying to really clean up. That's why I think I love being old school to my heart. Because in the old school, you could sit here and complain all day long. But if you wasn't about getting up, getting out, and doing something to make a change, you were just blowing smoke. They got up. They got up and did something. They went and marched. They went and sat and protested at the counters. They quit riding the bus and walked. Half of us ain't about to walk to the bus stop. No longer walk somewhere else. But they did it. They went and made sure that they understood that what Huey knew, like I said, he doesn't get the credit, he doesn't get the recognition. He knew the laws. He went and learned laws. And learned what his rights were. Some of us don't know crap. We don't know nothing about the law. We don't know how much power we really got because we won't go research it. You want to know why cops are able to do and get away with what they are doing and getting away with? It's because they know we don't know the law. We'll sit down here and we'll watch everything on TV. We'll watch these stupid shows. Oh my God. Lord. And I'm going to get into that because I'm going to talk about, because I'm seriously, we need to get into how black people are against black people during these times. Because we will sit here and watch these stupid shows. Love and Hip Hop. Real Housewives of. All these dumb shows that don't do nothing but make us look like we ignorant, stupid, fighting baboons. We'll watch all that stuff. We know who all the characters are. We know, oh man, he a producer, man. Oh bro, man, his money is, man, his money crazy. We know all about all of these folks that's sitting on this TV that don't give no craps about us, but we can't even sit, and I bet 5 right now, half of us even know half of what our rights are. Couldn't sit here and tell you nothing. Right now, couldn't tell you could not tell me half of the laws and half of the rights that you naturally got. Couldn't tell me that, but you can tell me who slept with who. You can tell me who pregnant by who. And I'm not just sitting here saying that it's all people. Like, again, this is for, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. If it fit, hey, it is what it is. Because I'm not just hitting y'all, I'm hitting myself too. Because there's so much that I don't know. There's so much that I got to get on the ball and sit here and say, you know what? I need to know this. I have a gun permit. I have a right to carry. And before I did that, my father taught me, he said, son, here's the 1929 Guns Act. You read this. You tell me what it is that this says. You tell me when you can. You tell me when you can't use your gun. You tell me where you can take your gun. Do you know that you can take your gun in these other states that will honor your gun license? A lot of folk don't know that. A lot of folk don't know that there's other states that will actually honor your permit here. But it's not everywhere. A lot of folk don't know that. But he was like, read this. Before you get this gun, before you go buy this gun, before you get this permit, read this. And then you tell me what you get out of this. You tell me what these laws are. Why? Because my father did not want me to go buy a gun and did not know what my rights were when it came to it. And that's the problem with us as black people, and not just black people, but people in general. We will literally go get in a car and just drive somewhere. And then we do not know what our rights are when we're pulled over. You don't have to do everything. As long as the cop can see your hands, you ain't got to roll your window all the way down. But that's what they get away with. They get away with it because we don't know. All you supposed to know, like everybody, well, that's how the incident happened where the cop shot the guy who was trying to see, he asked him, he said, hey, do you have a gun? The guy says yes. Next thing you know, he was wrong. He killed him because he asked him a question and he answered it. Killed him. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, research it. We all know who I'm talking about. I ain't got to say the name. If you don't know it, go research it. Shot him. Because he asked him a question and he answered it. But we don't know the rights. I want to see my brother get pulled over and the cop asked him to pass him, right, do you have a gun? And my brother said, well, yeah, I got a gun. And then next thing you know, the officer, can you unload the gun and hand it to me? You want to know what, when I went and bought my gun, this is what an ex-sheriff taught me. He said, hey, You do not have to give your gun or your permit or nothing. He said only thing that you have to do, you have to let them know, you have to let a cop know that you have a gun. You have to let them know that you are licensed to carry it. If they need to see your permit, you show them the permit. You do not have to give them the permit. You show them that you have a permit. You let them know that you are licensed to carry it. You let them know that the gun is on board and that you are not going to reach for the gun at any point in time. And that's it. You don't have to unload the gun for them. You don't have to move the gun for them. You don't have to give them the gun. This is coming from an ex-sheriff. But we don't know that. We don't know this stuff. We have to do better at knowing what we are, knowing what our rights are. We have to do better. Because that's how our forefathers and our ancestors got over. They knew their rights. And whatever rights that they did not have, they made sure that they went out and fought for. That's how Jim Crow laws died. And I know that we sit here and we say, well, they're not really dead because we still. I know this. We know this. Get your tail up and go do something about it then. If we're not willing to get out here and do anything, if we're not willing to learn what we are able to really do, then shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how you're being treated if you're not willing to get out here and change the way that you're being treated. If you don't want to change the laws, if you don't want to change the way that this stuff is about, if you feel like, well, man, your hood is bad and they ain't trying to help fix it, then you get your tail out there and try to fix it. Let me tell you something. If you quit killing people, if everybody quit killing folk, believe it or not, we wouldn't have no more murders. I know that's crazy. I know it's something that we ain't ever thought about. But how about this? How about if we quit killing folk, there wouldn't be no more murders? Everybody ever thought about that? If we get out here and clean up our neighborhoods and invest back into our neighborhoods, to sit here and say, this $5 or $10 that I'm going to spend on this stupid thing, let me invest it over here. Let me invest it back into the neighborhood. Let's come up with a food plan. Let's come up with a way that we can go buy food for the community, and everybody, if you really need the food, come and get it. Let's have our own community food bank. Let's do what it takes to get this stuff filled, right? Instead of everybody breaking into everybody's car and trying to steal stuff, because you got it, because you getting up going to work for it, and I'm not. How about this? How about I get up and go? How about instead of breaking into your car, man, hey, we make sure that we do a neighborhood watch together. Let's clean up and police our hood. If we know that the cops gonna come around here looking to do any and everything to us, let's start cleaning it up because we already know what they're coming for. So let's start cleaning it up. Let's get on one accord to start cleaning up our own neighborhoods. Then guess what? See, the government, they gonna take notice. And then this is what they're gonna start asking. Because they gonna come down and start asking questions. And then this is where you can come out and say, since you didn't want to do it, we did it for ourselves. Since you wasn't going to send us the money, we decided to take the money that we got and the money that we was going to do this and that with all this stupid stuff with, we decided to quit being stupid and start being smart and invest back into ourselves. So since the city didn't want to make sure that our apartments were brought up to code, we put the money together and made sure that our apartments were brought up to code. And then when you go down there to the city and you start talking and you start doing this and you start telling them that since y'all don't want to do it, we gonna do it. Let me tell you something. Those government officials are going to start doing something, and you can start. And when you start doing that, you can get these lame duck officials out of their positions. When we get up and start doing stuff for ourselves, and I'm not just talking, like I said, though we're talking about Black History Month, I'm not just talking to black people. Because we are still all brothers, sisters, neighbors, friends, family. We are all integrated into this thing. We all make up this history. We're woven in between where everybody is together. I don't care how. Look, I don't care how much you hate it. I don't care how much white people hate black people. I don't care how many black people hate white people. I don't care how many Mexicans hate black people or whatever. We are all intertangled into this thing together. So all of us have to come together and be together. And make this thing work. That's what we have to do. And it's not going to change until we get up and do something. That's how Black History Month got founded. These people got up. They saw an injustice. They saw that our history was not being taught. They saw that these black people didn't have refuge. They saw that they were being treated unfairly. So they got up, they went out, and they did something. They came together. Our problem, we don't want to come together. Because I don't want you to have more than me. We can't be together. We can't be on the same picture. We can't be on the same point because I don't want you to have more than me, and you don't want me to have more than you. So guess what? We just at odds, so we ain't together. So when they say let's come together, oh no, man, you know what? I can't stand him. I can't stand him because he think that he all that. And that's the sad part. That's the sadness of it. We all in the same boat struggling. Just because I'm struggling over here and you struggling over there, don't mean we ain't struggling in the same way. Or we ain't struggling in some type of way. But nah, I don't want you to have more than me. Nah, you got a PS4 and I only got a PS3 and I got problems with that. So we won't come together. And I hate that we do it, and I hate that people always talk about it. Well, what about black on black crime and all of this stuff? Sad. We killing each other. Everybody killing us. I'm with D.L. Hughley. We might need to become an endangered species because we killing us, they killing us. Hell, we ain't gonna have nobody left. And that's the sad part. Because we would rather fight each other than to fight the system. And I'm not gonna sit here and I want everybody, because it pisses me off when I do hear people say this, when people talk about people that are on government assistance and different stuff like that's all they want to be. Not everybody just wants to be on government assistance. Some people are stuck on there. And then other people just want to be on government assistance. And y'all asking, how do I jump from that to that? This is what I mean. Because what it happens is, you got folk who want something. You have people who want something, who's trying to get somewhere. And you have people who's trying to get nowhere. And so when somebody's trying to help you or tell you that you need to stop relying on this and start getting here and get up and say, okay, hey, I'm going to quit relying on this government assistance and I'm going to get up and do what I got to do to get off of it. Well, you don't want to hear that. Some people don't want to hear it. Well, but you ain't about to mess with my money. Because you don't want to listen to this person that's trying to tell you how to get better. That's a whole nother show in itself. But we got to quit fighting so much amongst ourselves and come together to sit here and say, let's overcome this, and this. We don't want to do that. But that's what we need to do. And I'm not saying, like I said, this is my whole thing. I have not been talking, I'm talking about in particulars. I'm talking about this stuff is for certain people. If you are a person who is like, hey, we need to get this thing together, and you're trying to make that move, keep making those moves. I love black unity. I love black people coming together. I love black and white people coming together for a good cause. To rally and get some work done. That's how we get past. That's how we go above and beyond. Because everybody's working together. We can't do nothing if we're not together. We can't. Together we rise, divided we fall. That's why America, I hate when people sit here and say, America's the greatest country. We are in certain aspects. But when it comes to people, we are the worst. We are the worst. Worst country. Because we treat each other like everybody who ain't you is dirt. Black people don't like white people. White people don't like black people. White people and black people don't like Mexicans. Mexicans don't like Iranians because they think that these people are this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Which is another show that's coming up. I'm gonna talk about the ironic of America. America the ironic. Because like I said, that show is coming. But it's us coming together to make a difference. Black History Month is not just a time to where we need to reflect just on black people's accomplishments. We need to focus on where black people are today. Are we in the best position? And I gotta admit, and I'm gonna say this, we're not. Have we come a long way? Yeah. We've come such a mighty long way. But to me, we have so much further to go. And it's not just to fight against the system. And it is, but it's not just to fight against the system. It's to fight against ourselves. It's to fight and get ourselves together. Because so many of us are so all over the place. We're here, we're there, we're this. Like I said, we don't want to listen to each other. We don't want to come together. We want to come together for certain things. And then even when we do, how do we come together? For me, Black History Month is a reflection of my culture. And it's not, it's taking the time to pay homage to the great people that came before us. I'm a musician, I'm an entertainer, so I love to watch Sammy Davis Jr. Like, I've been watching a lot of Sammy Davis Jr. stuff, the tributes to Sammy Davis Jr., the Sandman, a lot of tap dancers now. I don't know why it happened. To pay homage to them who went through different things that we don't know. To listen to Billie Holiday, to listen to Etta James, to listen to B.B. King, to listen to Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, Bobby Blue Bland, to listen to all of these folks and to pay homage to them. To Lena Horne, the beautiful Lena Horne. You know, that's what I'm saying. All of these people. And truth be told, a person that I never knew how much she did. You watch it, but you don't. Eartha Kitt. You know, to watch her story. To see where she came from. And to see how far, for her to go over, be able to speak 5 different languages. For her to have a hit song. For her to be a great actress. For her to be, to be all of these different things. To have this talent. And to have this talent and this knowledge. And that's what I'm saying. We give so much credit to her talent, but give it on her knowledge, 5 languages. Her attitudes, her thoughts, some of her theories. Some stuff I agree with, some stuff I don't. But she was such a profound woman that a lot of folk will sit here and they'll be like, they only know her for the growl or how. But they will never know how brilliant she was. And what's sad is a lot of folk will not take the time to give it to her, but among so many more. And that's why I said Black History Month to me is the time to sit and reflect on where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. It's recognizing not wanting to go back to where we were, but it's reaching back to take some of the old methods that they used and applying it to where we are. Because there's nothing wrong with marching, but march for a just cause. Not just cause, a just cause. If you're not doing, and that's what I'm saying, we've gotten so far to where we're just against stuff. Where we are now, we're just against everything. We're against the establishment. We're against this. We're against that. But we ain't going nowhere. I listen to all these Black Lives Matters, and you hear people, kill the police. Kill them. We want dead cops. We want this. They wasn't marching like that back then because they knew that they wasn't gonna get taken seriously or they were gonna get thrown as a threat. But when you sit here and say, we just want equality, We want peace. We want harassment to stop. There's a case that I just watched on Facebook, I believe, where a Black Panther Party in Milwaukee, I believe it is, and if I'm wrong, please forgive me, but they were harassed by the cops. They were harassed by cops and they were just passing out food, and the cops came and harassed them because they said that somebody called the cops and said that there's people out here brandishing guns and they don't, stupid stuff. And now they're suing the police officer because they said we're tired of being harassed. It's time. That's a great way to rise up and say, I'm tired of you doing this to me. We're fighting back now. And I'm not fighting back with a gun. I'm not fighting back with a knife. I'm not fighting back using my fist. I'm fighting back using my mind. I'm using, again, the laws that you are saying are for me. I'm using them now. It's taking that time to use what it is we saying that what we have. You look in and you saw the young man that got pulled over because a woman called and said that she thought that the boy stole the car. And in the comment that she made, I don't want to be racist. Well, wait a minute. You saw a black dude in a nice car and you called the cops. That's racism right there. Stupidity, ignorance right there. Because what's sad is you have a lot of folk who are racist who don't want to admit that they're racist, but they got to up here and find out that they're racist by doing racist stuff. We got to get ready to fight against all of that. We have to be prepared. And to me, where we are now, I feel like, especially not just my generation, but the generation underneath us and the generation before, we feel like we've made it somewhere. We getting comfortable in this idea that we don't have to do what mom and dad did. We don't have to do what grandma and grandpa did. We don't have to do what great grandma and great grandpa did. We don't feel like we got to do that, but we do. We're really quick. We're so freaking sensitive. We're sensitive. Oh, he said that. And again, this is laying the groundwork for. I thought I was going to do a 2-part series on this, but I kind of feel like one is enough because next week is going to be America the Ironic, and all of this stuff is going to go into this, and all of this stuff is going to go into it. But we are so sensitive. We're not really ready, and honestly, and this is so serious when I say it, I don't feel that we are ready for the fight that we are already in. We're ill prepared. We're ill prepared fighting a fight that, truth be told, we've been in for so long that we're just now realizing we're in. It's like we almost just now, we know that the numbers are there, but we don't know how to fight against them. We know that we're getting locked up. We know that we're being discriminated against, but we kind of accepted it. But now it's time to fight against it. But we don't know how to do it. And the way that some of us are fighting, we're not getting ahead. We're really going backwards, because when you see stupid people yelling at cops, talking about them, oh man, you gonna kill me, you gonna shoot me, all right, hey pig, here pig, oink, 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 all that stupid stuff. When you see that, it's setting us back. Because what it's doing is giving them the justification to sit here and say, well, you know what? We're going to have to do it like this because, I mean, hey, they running their mouth, they talking like this, they doing that. So, hey, man, I got to do what I got to do. It's allowing them and it's giving them the justification to be and continuously be what they are. So I don't feel like now we are in a position to really win a fight that we don't, because I feel like we're ill prepared because we refuse to go back and do what grandpa and grandma did, but we don't want to be, but we want to use what they went through to push forward. We can't. It's not good. And the thing that I fear for our future is that because our history is slowly dying, it's slowly being more and more minimalized. We are not. It's becoming more and more. It's becoming shorter and shorter and shorter. When you look at the history books, it's like now we're getting down to the pages. We're not even chapters no more. We're pages. We're a few pages, or we're a few paragraphs. And we as our cult, and what's so sad is we as a culture are not even hungry for our history anymore. I remember the first opportunity I got to go do a Black History class. I jumped at it. I jumped at the chance to do a Black History class. I was chomping at the bit because I said, this is something I have to learn. This is me. And now you say Black History class, oh man. I mean, dude, that's a class you go and sleep in for some of us, for some of our kids. That's the class. Man, all this stuff, man, we ain't did it, man. We ain't going through this stuff, man. We ain't doing it. We ain't even hungry for where we come from. And I feel like one of the things that made me so much of the man that I am today is the fact that I was able to go to that class and listen to my history. To see the hell that my parents went through. To see the hell that my grandparents went through and their parents went through. And so on and so forth. And to see that. To see how far we really came. And I know we watch these movies. We watch 12 Years a Slave. We watch Django. We watch all of these movies. Birth of a Nation, that I still gotta watch. I still want to see that movie. I keep saying I'm gonna get it, and I need to. But we'll watch all of these movies, and we'll get pissed because we see the treatment. We see the women getting raped. We see the men getting beat. We see them, picking cotton and getting talked to the way that they were. And there was nothing that we could do about it. And we watch this stuff and we get pissed. But when we're done being pissed at the movie, we're not getting up to make sure that the movie does not repeat itself. We're not hungry for it no more. And that's the sad part. That's the sad future I see. And that's a future in which history repeats itself. Because if you pay attention to what's going on, that's what they're already trying to do. Anytime you hear your president, well, he's everybody's president in a sense, I guess. We can say he ain't our president, but he is. I don't claim, but when you hear him say he's bringing back stop and frisk, it's we going back. We're going backwards. And if we are not prepared to deal with that, we're shot. Our generation is in trouble. Our future, and that's why I said I fear for the day that I have a kid with that nutcase in office. Oh, I fear. I fear for when I get married, my wife, when she has our kids and she has to take off and all of this stuff in the world, I fear. I fear. Because we're it's so much going on, and it's so much that if we're not careful, we're going to be right back with colored toilets and white toilets. If we ain't careful. I don't know what Black History means to everybody else. I don't know if this is the time that everybody takes as a black person to really sit down and appreciate the blessings that God has really given, if you believe in him, or, that he has really given to us to make it this far and to get through that much. And I don't know if people take the time to reflect on where we are as a culture and what needs to be done and what could be better and all of that. I don't know if we do that. I don't know what Black History Month means for everybody. But I just know that for me, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of healing. It's a time of togetherness. It's a time for family. It's a time for all this stuff. But it's really a great time for reflection.
And if you haven't done that, if you haven't got out here and researched, and you haven't went out and really looked into what's going on with your culture and what's happened with your people, what happened with your history, then I advise you to really do that. I advise you to really go out and reflect. I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're black. Reflect on where we were as a country and where we are as a country and where we're headed as a country. Think about this stuff. It's important. So that's my Black History Show here on True 100. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Hopefully, everything had. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed it. Hopefully, you got something out of it. Hopefully, there was something that made you think. And if you haven't, like I said, please, if you haven't thought about it, go back, reflect, go back and really think about what Black History Month is to you. Think about what Black History Month is to in your heart. Does Black History Month stop for you in February, or is it something that continuously rolls for you? And you know, it's something that we need to do. Tune in next week. Next week, like I said, going to be talking about America the Ironic. You know, and so I think that's one. I think it's something that everybody's going to enjoy. I'm going to let everybody know now, just a prelude, be ready, because I'm pretty sure you're not going to agree with everything that I say. I'm not saying anything to offend anybody. Like I said here on True 100, we are respectful. It is about being respectful to all people. So, but at the same time, being truthful. There's some stuff that you agree with, some stuff that we don't. So please get out of your sensitivities, open your minds and everything like that. And by all means, comment. You can comment on posts. You can leave. You can say what you feel. But like I said, I'm gonna be respectful to you. Please be respectful back. But we're going to talk about America the Ironic, and believe you me, there's going to be some stuff that's going to get said that either you thought about and haven't said, or you never thought about it in a certain way. So tune in next week. Keep tuning in to YouTube. Like I said, go to YouTube, check out some shows, past shows. If you don't want to go to YouTube, you can stay here on my page, or look through some of the shows. All of the shows are posted throughout my history. All of the shows are being posted on True 100. So go find True 100 here on Facebook. All of the shows are there. Like I said, they're on YouTube. If you don't want to, if you're not able to do that, maybe you're driving and you got a phone. Our podcast is thoughtsofaman.podbean.com. You can go listen to all of the Podbeans here, all the podcasts on online. So True 100 is everywhere. True 100 is, like I said, we're growing. We're trying to do better. Like I always say, let us know what we can do to make the shows better. Give us some topics that you would want us to talk about. Like I said, if we got, we know about them, we'll, flat out talk about it. If not, it gives us time to go research and, at least form opinions if we have it. And if we're not able to do it, by all means, we'll try to find people who do know about it. So, continuously tune in, continuously spread the word. Tell your friends about us here at True 100. So we want to, like I said, make it big. We want to make this thing travel, and that is my prayer. That is my goal. That is my drive. That is my ambition. Is to get True 100 out here to let people know that hey, you can be honest and you can be yourself and get everything out. Just be respectful with it. And so again, it's me, your boy AMA, True 100, signing out. I'll catch y'all next week.